I've just been broken into.
At the camp.
3 men, 2 have shot in my house.
A heart-pounding 911 call as 3 teenage burglars are shot dead during a home invasion.
Are they bleeding?
Yes, I believe one's down, one's still talking. You need to get here now.
And they broke into your home?
Yes.
The 3 teens were mowed down by the homeowner's 23-year-old son. Police say Zach Peters, alone in the house, grabbed an AR-15 assault rifle when he heard the trio breaking in.
I shot 2 of them. Now I'm barricaded in my bedroom.
You're barricaded in his bedroom?
Correct.
Most wanted YouTuber. Breaking news. Undawn.
Shooting at officers right now.
A wild chase on the streets and highways in and around Los Angeles.
Oh my God! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, he was shooting his gun!
A murder suspect hanging outside of the window of the car he was riding in, firing back at officers in hot pursuit.
There he is, shooting at officers right there. Shots fired, shots fired.
The passenger, who was wanted for questioning in the fatal shooting of a convenience store employee, opening fire as a Toyota Prius raced at high speed, trying to get away.
Guys, this is very dangerous here. Here we go. He's pointing a gun, shooting randomly.
Drivers caught in the crossfire. Thankfully, none of them seriously hurt. Finally, the car got stuck behind a truck.
Officers are shooting at that vehicle right now. Wow, suspect is hit.
This is one that you're not going to let go. He has to be stopped. He's in immediate danger.
Unbelievable.
I know. And the standoff lasted nearly 2 hours on live TV as well.
Stu, what can you tell us?
Well, we're actually right by the airport right now, right by LAX, and you know how LAX loves the helicopters out here, so they're actually kind of holding us a little bit at bay. You can see that vehicle right there. It has a lot of damage on it. It's that Avalanche, Chevy Avalanche. It has some damage on the passenger side. It looks like it even had lost a tire. Now, the Sheriff's Department not involved in this, but LAPD is, and it's going to be a little difficult for us to stay with this right now as he's making his way underneath the freeway right there. I'm going to try to keep with it because he's underneath the 105 right now. But this pursuit is continuing on, and you can see the PD helicopter right there. And hang on, we just got to keep an eye on it. So he's actually working to our benefit there. He's staying away from the 105 freeway. There's that vehicle right there. So we are heading southbound now, and you can see that vehicle continuing right now. Murder suspect inside the car. That's what we need to talk about right now. They actually told him negative on the pit, even though it has damage on the car, meaning they're not going to try to do a pit maneuver on this because that's an armed and dangerous suspect. They don't want that vehicle to spin around and then have an armed suspect pointing at officers. Right now, slower speeds as we're making our way through the El Segundo area, still moving southbound here on Aviation Boulevard. Pretty slow, but definitely a dangerous pursuit.
Do we know if the who's driving? And I was hearing reports that the murder suspect could be in the back seat.
You know what? I don't have that information. We were too busy trying to actually locate this, and it was by the LAX area, so it was making it very difficult. I was keeping up as best as I could with what was going on, but I don't know if that murder suspect's in the backseat. We'll stay a little bit tighter. We'll see if we can figure out if there's more than one person inside that vehicle. Again, though, this is in an area where it's difficult for us to stay with it.
Yeah, Stu, we're also hearing that this is an attempted murder suspect. Do you know anything about how this whole police pursuit began in the first place?
I actually do not. All I do know is that LAPD was behind it. They tried to pull this vehicle over. You can see some dangerous moves right there, and they refused to. And the pursuit was on. That's what we know as far as how this pursuit started. Maybe you have some more information that the desk is giving us?
I know about as much as you do right now because this all happened not too long ago. So it looks like they're kind of slowing down their speeds a little bit on these roads.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm really with you guys right now. I can tell you the speeds have really slowed down. That's the big thing right now. But he is continuing to run red lights out here, and we're making our way on El Segundo Boulevard. I'm trying to get a bearing on which way exactly we're going. We're still in the LAX area. My pilot Dylan today definitely trying to keep with this the best we can. But of course we have the LAPD helicopter nearby as well, so it's going to make it difficult. I'd just like to get a cleaner shot of where we're at right now. now, but you can see that pursuit continuing right now. LAPD definitely staying behind it. They're not going to let this thing go. How they're going to bring this to an end, though, that is the big question. Of course, they cannot use that pit maneuver because they said, as you mentioned early on, attempt murder suspect, but possibly armed, and they don't want to have a situation where that vehicle is pointed at them after they do a pit maneuver. Trying to blend into traffic right there. Definitely has no front passenger tire. That was what I saw earlier on. But right now you can see that he's made his way onto Sepulveda Boulevard, and it looks like we're going to be heading northbound on Sepulveda. And I'm going to have to work with the pilot here for just a moment to try to keep up with it. And I just heard Dylan, he's listening in and he's keeping up with us, but he actually said that he's trying to get a hold of them right now to try to expedite our ability to stay with it. But right now, though, you can see that vehicle, 3 tires, now up on the sidewalk, I believe. No, not out on the sidewalk, not on the side, just on a portion.
Well, it looked like he was there for a second, though, Stu. Yeah, yeah, it sure did. And
at any rate,
we're also hearing, Stu, that there are 3 occupants in this vehicle. We don't exactly know who they are, what kind of relationship they have with each other. But, yeah, you can see him right now. He's weaving in and out of traffic. It's getting a little congested where he is, but he is taking it slow, I have to say.
Well, you know, that Avalanche, a big truck, probably a 5.3 liter in there, big V8, but with 3 tires, it's going to make it very difficult to steer and control. That weaving and stuff like that, I'm not sure what that driver is thinking, but right now you can see the LAPD, they have the opportunity to do that pit. The speeds are right. There might be a little, every now and then, there's a lot of other cars nearby, and I'm sure that's what that officer in that first vehicle wants to do. But just because of the fact that they may be armed and dangerous, they're not going to be able to do that, making a wide turn, and it looks like we're going to be on the wrong side of the road right now. And again, this just continues to make it so very dangerous for the civilians or the people on the roadway right now. You've got people driving there probably trying to make their way to the airport, or maybe lunchtime for a lot of folks, and now they're having somebody driving the wrong way on the roadway. This is not what you want to see. Made his way back. He corrected it. You can see it right there. Now we're back on the right side of the road. Speed's definitely picking up right now. You can see 60 miles an hour, and that probably is about accurate, and we're going to keep up with it. He's underneath on Imperial right there, very close to the 105, but if he makes a turn to the south, that would be the best. If he makes a turn to the north, it's going to make it difficult for us to keep up with it. But again, dangerous pursuit out here. LAPD, they've got their things they got to deal with right now as well. Like, how are they going to bring this to an end? They're not going to let this one go. They're not going to go into a tracking mode with something like this, and definitely with the possibility of an armed and dangerous suspect in that back seat. You can see the LAPD helicopter right above it. But right now, this pursuit continues near the LAX area as this truck keeps those officers at bay. 3 tires, so you know he's going to have some braking problems. And right now, back underneath the 105.
Yeah, this is kind of a tricky pursuit, at least from our end right now, because we are looking at a lot of overpasses, tall buildings as well. That's kind of tough for you guys to navigate and to get a clear picture of. But yeah, we are hearing confirmed murder suspect in this SUV, this truck. 3 occupants in the vehicle. As you're watching this police pursuit unfold right now, we're trying to get a clearer shot of exactly where he is.
Yeah, he's continuing on Imperial Highway.
Yeah.
The 105 keeps blocking him right there, but he's continuing on Imperial. We'll probably get just a glimpse of him right there through that underpass, unless he turns or something happens right there. We're going to get ahead of him. There he is, making his way past us right now, but continuing on. So we're going to be leaving the LAX area. This is a plus for us, and it's going to be getting us into the Inglewood area. But you can see right there, not a lot of traffic on Imperial. That's a big plus, and then you got some cars. You got a red light right there, just went right through that solid red, but this continues on. Very, very dangerous situation indeed. But LAPD, they're going to bring this to an end, hopefully without any kind of injuries or any problems. Right now, though, continuing on, we're making our way out of the LAX area and into the Hawthorne area, and this vehicle continues to try to maneuver around stuff. I just wonder how long that rim is going to hold up. If that rim starts getting too worn down, it's going to start dragging, and it's going to make that truck even more impossible to maneuver. And it looks like we're going to be going northbound now in the Hawthorne area, and we're going to be on Inglewood Boulevard.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's possibly the reason he's taking it slower, is because he knows that his front tire has essentially come off. I wonder how long he can drive like that.
you know, we've seen these go for quite a long time, and we've seen a lot of these suspects just keep pushing those vehicles because they, you know, what difference does it make about the car? They're not concerned about what's going on there. They're trying to get away from law enforcement, so they're going to do whatever they can. Right now, using that center lane, northbound is where he's headed. It's going to be difficult for Skyfox to keep up. I'm sure Dylan is going to try to help make a plan here to see, unless he turns around. If he continues northbound, we're going to have to cross over LAX again, and that's going to be a little difficult for us. But right now, continuing northbound on Inglewood Boulevard, making his way away from the 105 and LAPD, you can see that officer right there. You know he just wants to get up there and do that pit maneuver, but at this point, it's not approved because there's an armed and dangerous suspect inside that vehicle.
Yeah, so they have to really kind of keep their distance in cases like this, right? Because it's unconfirmed that he's armed. Is that right?
Well, you know, they have reports of, and that's good enough. I mean, you don't want to be able to, you don't want to get into a situation where, you know, you're thinking this. I'm sure they believe that every suspect could have the possibility of being armed when they approach him. But when they actually have reports of, they're going to take that even more serious. Making his way up to another major intersection up there, that's going to be Century Boulevard. That was one of his takes earlier on, but it looks like he's continuing northbound as he's making his way northbound on Century. LAPD still right there, hot on his trail, doing what they can just to keep the public safe. Lights and sirens, let people know what's going on. You can see people pulling over to the side of the road. That's what they need to do. But right now, that's an armed and dangerous suspect in a heavy vehicle has problems. As that front wheel is out, they don't want this vehicle careening into somebody innocent, taking another life. They've had those issues in the past.
Subscribe, like, and share.